Welcome to the Umami Podcast.
Oh, we get it.
Yeah, because it's getting cold again.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm starving.
Shall we?
So when you guys gave me the prompt to bring a meal, I was like, the first thing I was like, Umfino, dude. Like, Umfino is like what my grandmother would make when he would visit the Eastern Cape. So that's like my go-to. Like it feels like home. So I bought some of that. And we're going to share some of that tonight. Can you help with that?
Oh, damn.
So we have Umfino here. You gotta look at this for yourselves at some point.
So what is Umfino?
So Umfino is like spinach and cabbage. I can't cook, so like, I can't even tell you guys how it's made and stuff. But yeah, it's basically spinach and cabbage.
So there's nothing else besides spinach and cabbage?
Now you're asking me a lot, dude. Now you're asking for a lot.
So you clearly didn't make it.
I thought you were.
I can't cook. I can't cook it all. So I got my aunt to help. Or to make this essentially.
Shout out auntie.
So yeah, I'll help get the ingredients. But then my grandmother used to make these because we had like a little spinach garden. So when we'd come and she's like, oh, my grandson is here. And she's like, what can I make you to eat? I was like, yo, my kulu like Umfino, dude, let's go.
This was your dish?
That was my thing. And like you'd see the process of like going to the garden, picking out the spinach, and then the magic is done in the kitchen. And then I'm like this kid.
Wow.
That's partly still like my relationship with food. Is like I've always had adults around me who'd like get the stuff, make the magic, and I'm just like, and now this is like essentially that process as well. And then everyone knows and everyone loves Amagwinya, dude.
You're being spoiled tonight.
Fed cook for other people. Very simple dish to eat. I feel like I'm a kid at heart, dude, so this is what I'd ask my aunts to make me when they've missed me or hadn't seen me in a long time, they'd be like, we know what he loves, Amagwinya, let's just, and that's what I go for.
So would you have them in this form, or is it like, because I have a relationship with Amagwinya and we would have them like plain?
Yes, butter.
So there's a variety of
you can do it in different, you can do it in different ways. Some people just put butter and jam and tea, my aunt would do, like she'd make Amagwinya, put jam, butter, if not sit by the stoop with like this like animal cup with tea.
Was it the animal?
The animal proper back to, and I'd sit by the stoop after playing outside the whole day, and it's you and your guinya and afterwards you're napping afterwards.
You sit for like a couple of hours.
You sit for a couple of hours. So this is partly like childhood feelings, but also like family and that love and So this is me, man.
Would you generally have these paired together?
Together, no, not really. It's just one or the other. Yeah, you wouldn't have them together at all. It's one or the other.
So why did you decide to have it?
Why do I have them together?
You're just a child at heart.
It's just like
I'm gonna have all my favorites.
Guys, my relationship with food is just what feels good, what
makes you happy.
What makes me happy, or the process of how it was made, when it was made, where it was made, the context. Those things are what like really matter. Who made it even? It's like, like even like steamed bread, like when my mom makes it, I'm just like, let's go. So that's my relationship with food for the most part. But you wouldn't have these together at all.
Okay.
Please can we dish?
Let's dish.
Yeah.
Tell me this is yours.
Okay.
What are you gonna start? I want to start with this because.
Okay.
We're gonna start with the same thing so we all get a.
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course. Before we leave.
Yeah, just grab a guinya, guys.
Hot, please.
We also have ginger beer to drink.
Amazing.
You know what's funny when you were a kid? Like you'd have this, you'd have a guinya, and obviously the oil's in your hands, and you use the TV remote to like change channels, and then the TV remote is flipping oily. Let's go.
You remind me of that ad.
Yes.
And then you know the ad. Where the Ronnie, do you have like from home any version of Amagwinya or like this kind of thing?
What I would say it reminds me of is like we have like deep fried, we call it like puff puff. In French is beignet.
Beignet.
Yeah. I mean, you probably like have different versions of being depending on where you are.
Yeah.
But then you have it with like beans, so like beans on the side.
When I was growing up, my mom would make. So no, this is. You said this is not spinach here.
It is, yeah, spinach and cabbage as well.
It's spinach.
Yeah.
Okay, because there's this whole food category which is spinach, but also there's a whole group of greens that fall under the category of spinach.
Yeah.
So there is a version of it it doesn't look like the standard spinach that you get from a shop, like from Moody's or whatever. It's the one where you basically go on a walk and you forage.
Sure.
So when I was growing up, we would go and forage. They'd like small little leaves, and then she would make it in a similar way. Like the base would be onion, but she wouldn't mix it with cabbage, which is slightly different to this. And then she would pump the spices, bro. So I'm just like it's interesting tasting this because it's slightly very the same. I'm getting those the cabbage flavor and the Umfino. But to me, my memory associates this with having a little bit more, having had more spice, because she would make it with pap, and then it would just be that like pap and Umfino. And it travels, so which is, I don't know if you've had any other versions of it.
No. I'll actually ask you guys, have you ever gone to someone else's house, or as a kid go to someone else's house where they make the same thing that you have at home, and it just doesn't, it's not done the same way.
Yeah, my mom makes it better than
my mom makes it better than this. So yeah, you get different variations of like food stuff. You share it. So I wonder, what is it about food that makes you? Is it like familiarity? You enjoy what feels familiar, or it's just like simply taste? I mean, there's some stuff where you go somewhere and you're like, sure, this is made better than what I've had at home. Yeah. So it's but with Amagwinya in particular, Amagwinya and Umfino, there's no place we have gone. Yeah. We have tasted and this is better than what I've had at home. Okay. So pressure's out there.
I think that's the nature of comfort food. Yeah. Which is why that's why I think what we're so interested in umami is comfort food, because it's like those are the things you return to, like those are the things that are like home.
Exactly. Yeah. I was gonna ask on that, like with your relationship to food and these being things that bring you some comfort and stuff, how often do you have this kind of vibe? And who cooks? Who makes the meals? Like, what does that look like?
Well, these meals in particular?
In general, let's say in your household, but if you connect it to your community.
To my community.
And, like the in-betweens.
I mean, for me at home, it's changed because like growing up, I've had different people stay with us, like an aunt or an uncle. So that changed over time. So in the beginning, young would be my mom or my aunt or my grandmother. And then, when my uncles would come over, they also had responsibility to cook. Really? The uncle would have responsibility to make meat or whatever.
Wow. Okay, meat.
Not just meat, exclusively, but whatever, meat, whatever we have at home. But now how that's changed, obviously my aunt, because my mom isn't at home with us now, so my aunt cooks. So my sister has actually also learned to cook. So she'll do that. But with these in particular, I don't have these in maybe 6 month periods, or sometimes
that far.
Yeah, because I'd have Umfino, but my grandmother had the garden, the spinach garden. So we'd go to the Eastern Cape in June, on June holidays or December holidays, so the festive period. And then when I go there, I know my grandmother's gonna do that for me. Wow.
So you know that when she knows that you're coming,
she knows I'm coming. She knows I love it. I'm gonna get it there. So when I'm at home, when I'm here in Cape Town, I would never be like, "Yo, guys, get someone hook up Umfino or something." That was an expectation. I mean, that's changed a little bit. My aunt, a couple times has made it, and every time she makes it, I'm like, "Yo, I know I haven't had it in a while." So, but I also feel if I had this all the time, it wouldn't have that same. But in Amagwinya, it would be I get a summer feel with Amagwinya. It would be made in the summer. My aunts, or a sister, a cousin like would come and stay with us, they would always make. But my mom, man, whenever my mom made it, that's when I'm like, this is
real.
There's a lot of us at home. When we'd have Amagwinya, like, and I get home like maybe in the evening, and it was made during the day. The next day you get there and you check you open the thing and like there's like only 2 left. I feel like I missed the entire experience.
Definitely.
I feel like I missed the entire thing because when it was being made, you see in drama like the dough.
Yeah.
They first like place the dough and like these, then they put it in the
Yes.
oil.
Yes.
You know, so I'd be like excited, like I could smell the food from like the kitchen. You know, like oh shit, I mean from the lounge, like in the kitchen. Like, ooh, Amagwinya is being made right now. So when I haven't been part of that entire process, I'm just like, yo, I know when I get home, people are gonna beat me to it. Like everyone's gonna grab, and people do like different things. Like someone might grab one and then put polony in, put butter in, get tea there, and then sit on the side, do their thing. Another person might just grab it as is and go have it in their room. And then like me, I get there, I'm like, oh, there's only 2 left. I was gonna have like 5 or 6. Let me work with what I got now.
What would you do?
Me, I'm simple. I'd have a plain, butter, on occasion butter jam. You know, it's quite flexible. But that's me, my approach.
What Thami said about how there's the Umfino that you pick out that is naturally.
Yes.
So my grandmother told me about these plants, their names. Imbikikana, Imbikuchukyu, is Kwawumbo, and Ihlaba. So apparently those are the naturally.
Yes.
Is that what you grew up eating?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had that. And then I've sort of had the spinach and cabbage one. Because it's more easily found, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. Like literally with that story that I was telling. It was rough growing up, y'all. Like I don't come from a family that owns farms or like is lali or whatever. Yeah. So we grew up in a township, and when it was rough, you know. So when my mom would send me out to go pick forage, I didn't even know. Like I'm learning this terminology now, like forage.
Yeah,
because you know how we like. Yeah, you know, we'll talk and say we should learn how to forage. Forage for mushrooms.
Just so romantic.
Yeah, like it's. I watch these YouTube videos of people going and foraging, and I think, oh my gosh, that's amazing! Like, if only we could all forage every day, you know, have our little thingy veggie garden things, and that's what we kind of gravitate towards. I love that kind of stuff right now, but only to remember as I look back or think back at stories, I'm like, hi guys, we've been foraging.
Just wasn't labeled.
We've been foraging, guys.
It was just survival.
Also,
it was just survival.
We were foraging without choice.
It was just survival, dude.
I'm there with a ShopRite or Pick and
So what did you have to do?
ShopRite plastic.
And where?
So, just laughing at ShopRite plastic. Okay, I'd have the yellow one.
Yes.
Imagine a small time with the yellow ShopRite. Anyway, so there was there's these, I don't know what you call them, drainage systems for when it rains, the water goes like similar to what we have with these big river thing.
Yeah.
So we had something like that, but it was not kept. It wasn't kept by the municipality, so it was like kind of trying to be that, but not quite. It was an interesting situation where water would gather there.
Yeah.
So because there was water there, these little things would grow. You know, so a bunch of different kinds of plants, including these Umfino, this type of Umfino. Yeah. That's why whenever I go to your house, I'd be like, Umfino, we talk about Umfino, and then your dad would say, oh, we have Umfino, and I'm like, that doesn't look like that doesn't look like the one that I was foraging. Doesn't look like
I didn't know the variation.
Yeah.
So who taught you to which leaves?
Yeah, so but my mom would show me, she'd be like, no, they look like this.
Oh.
Wow.
So I've never seen the ones that I foraged. I haven't seen that version yet.
Yeah. Did they have names or did you just recognize the leaves?
Even this, when we went to go get the ingredients, right? So we went to like the stand and had like they had cabbage, they had spinach and stuff. And then my aunt was like, yeah, but like you guys don't have the spinach that I'm looking for. The type it has a different like I don't know a different stem or something.
Yeah.
And then the lady's like, like Chinese.
No,
you want Chinese?
bok choy.
I don't know. It's like you want Chinese spinach, and I was like, I didn't know there was
Yeah.
like different.
Yeah.
And my mom said, no, I know what I'm looking for.
Exactly.
But I have some of that, but I know somewhere else where you can get it.
So where did you find it?
She went into the mall somewhere, and then she came back and was like, yeah, I think I found it. I found what I'm looking for.
Yeah, because language also throws us off. Like, I think spinach seems to be the central word.
It's like
but
generic.
I feel more comfortable
It's
using
probably different.
Umfino. I don't know if there is Umfino version. I don't know if you say spinach for what I was picking, but it was, let's say, a variation of spinach.
Imagine
So
how much like good food is lost, like because of translation or something.
Exactly. Yeah, because of communities, whoever is celebrated more than another, whatever.
Right across the border.
And by moving things into English.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So Umfino, is that referring to the specific leaf? Even though there's cabbage and everything else in here.
Yeah.
But although it's not a specific leaf, it's a lot of leaves. Now we've
That sounds like it though.
Yeah.
Like I think Umfino in Xhosa and maybe Umfino in Zulu might even be different things.
Beauty would say that.
Yeah.
She knows a difference.
Because I know
And-
Umfino.
Yeah.
I know Umfino as the meal, and then spinach is the ingredient.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
You get me?
And spinach is
Interesting.
An
You know,
umbrella.
but
That is
how Thami is saying it now,
Yeah,
Umfino is the
The
ingredient.
ingredient, yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, it's different for sure.
different
Yeah.
maybe.
But I wanted to ask you, like, do you have a meal in your family context where that kind of resembles a similar kind of, like a mixture, or is it just spinach?
I don't think I have any that comes close to this. I have 2 memories of eating this in my life, and it's coming back to the flavor actually is like reaching back right now. Yeah, the one was, I think it was my dad's birthday when he was working at the warehouse. I still remember being served it or dishing it, whatever. And I can tasting it now is like taking me back to that moment. And I remember I didn't know what it was, and I never until I can taste it right now. It's really beautiful. And then the other time was we stayed in the Eastern Cape for a few months when I was like 10 during the World Cup year, and the family we were staying with made it a few times. When my mom heard that we were eating this tonight, she was so jealous.
Oh really?
Yeah. She was like, "What? You're getting these?" Yeah.
Hectic.
And I think there potentially it was also far-edged.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there was so much around. I mean,
Thami just mentioned how this to her was like brought back like memories of like more like hard times.
Sure.
And you are like it's more comfortable. And just linking that to something else, coming here to South Africa, I noticed that, I mean, it is just in Cape Town, I don't know, but I noticed in the spaces I've experienced, there's not a lot of conversation around what we call traditional meals. Like, they're not really at the forefront of like South African culture, if I can
100%.
say. And I think it's also in relation to where black people were at the time and how they consider the meals versus the white folks and stuff. And so, like, even just thinking about that, like that experience, there's just a lot to think about just behind what hides behind the meal. Like back home, you have a lot of traditional meals, and it's like you find them everywhere. Yeah, it's quite different. But then you think about why, and when you go to why, you start realizing that all this culture, like significance behind different meals, and there's reasons why. In a space like this, you might consider this meals different from others, and it's just nice to experience that. And then you get to know people. Like we get to know you through like conversations that we have about the
It's crazy.
And why, how you relate to it and why and all that stuff. It's just
yeah.
so interesting.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of personal and bigger stories.
Yeah. I think, Ronnie, as you reflect that, I think about like, I think when I started having these experiences with you and Zach, like around trying out maybe food from your home, that's when I was like, oh, like I started thinking back to, oh, I wonder what I would have had when I was growing up. It's like this whole thing of like going to the city for work, or you know, these kinds of things where there's distance between place of birth, whatever, and workplace, and you know, then a different relationship that forms around food and how you eat food, with who you eat food, etc., etc. and then suddenly you forget that world, and suddenly you're in this world, and then suddenly you're like, whoa, okay. The deep nostalgia and emotions and comfort that perhaps like was lost within this distance that was created by you not being in closer proximity with that, and suddenly you feel all of these like, whoa, like having this taken back. And so I think that's part of it. It's reconnecting. It's unfortunate that we have to almost do this, because we have that gap that's developed, but it's this beautiful, it's almost like going back and just like finding the nuggets, and perhaps reminding us it feels like learning how to be home again, in maybe, or make home again in another place.
You all know you're a foodie.
I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
But I think also all of our relationships are actually very food centric. A lot of the experiences we share together, and I think that's what like Ronnie and Thami and we started being like. Often when we're eating together, we're like, the conversations we have, we're like, I wish we captured this somehow. And part of that is because it's just a profound, food is just such a profound medium for storytelling.
Sure.
And food in an expansive sense, so it's like what you're eating, but it's also, it's the story of the ingredients, where they came from.
Sure.
It's the way you eat it, and it's the format of the meal. That's what we found. Ronnie and me did a project that I think the roots of it were in that project, where we asked a few people to do comfort food, cook their comfort food for us, like this basically. And the conversations we had were crazy. Like it was so beautiful. Questions about identity, questions about shame,
Definitely.
questions. Same also what you're saying. What's lost? I think that comes up. Like, I think when we were saying let's have a podcast about food, let's have like meals. It was also saying like, we don't want to lose that stuff, and how can we cultivate that experience of the meal?
Sure.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's interesting. I wasn't as conscious of like that until I was hanging out with you guys. Like we choose food spaces to go to.
So often.
We choose where we go to for a particular reason, because we haven't experimented with that.
Yeah.
We choose where you guys would choose where you buy your food from, like whatever produce you guys are quite like intentional about those things as well.
Yeah.
And for me, like even at home, we'd grown into the habit of eating in front of the TV. Right? So, and that for me, or for my personality, or for my brain, that would mean food is a thing I'm doing, but what I'm concentrating on is what I'm watching. But food is just this other thing that I'm doing. And I think that's a big part of my relationship with food. It's like food is a thing that we use in between doing the thing that we actually want to do. I'm happy I got to be part of the beginning. Too many more. What's it? Umami?
Umami.
Too many more umami.
Do we say like and subscribe?
Like, comment, and subscribe.
You can find us on the socials.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for
so
listening. Wherever you are. Yeah, get some. I wanted to have another one, but I
forgot.
couldn't.
I forgot. I was just asked it. I was very
You guys are eating.
so cold down for sugar.
I have to.
Yeah, man.
That was
Cool,
sexy.